All right, hey everyone, you got Drake, Copeland, and Lawson here. We're tech service reps in the Mid-South, and we're actually at one of our showcase sites here in Crawfordsville, Arkansas. And one of the big questions we've gotten this year is utilizing Anthem MAXX in corn. And Lawson, with all the rain we've got, there's been a ton of opportunities to really go through those options depending on where you're at in the Mid-South. But we're going to talk about 3 different scenarios today, and one of those is the pre option, which is one of my favorite options, utilizing Anthem MAXX in corn. So you want to talk about what you recommend typically?
Yeah, and Drake, you hit some good points. I mean, I really like putting out a really strong pre-emergence option, especially in corn. A lot of the weed competition studies done show that yield loss from weed pressure can really occur as early as V1 and V2 in corn. So we want to make sure we have a product out there when we plant corn that's going to keep weeds from coming up and competing. And I really like utilizing Anthem MAXX upfront pre. That's the plot we're standing in. We put out 4 ounces of Anthem MAXX, 6 ounces of Callisto, and 2 pounds of atrazine at planting. And you can see we're sitting here at V6 corn that's really clean as a pin. It's been a tried and true option that we've seen over a lot of different soil textures, geographies.
Yep.
Do a good job.
And we're 40 days after treatment, and this is high pressure area that we are at in Arkansas. So pre is one of those options. Let's go look at a row and go option, which would be more typical for a guy that wants to let his corn get up and put something over the top to get some weed control.
All right, so now we're standing in what we call a row and go option. This is pretty typical of somebody who plants corn, not able to get a pre out, and then you're trying to come back and clean it up after the corn's up. And this is still a great opportunity to get Anthem MAXX out for your residual control, to add it to your post-tank mix options. And as you can see, we have tremendous pigweed pressure here. A lot of grass pressure, as you can see behind us. And I sprayed this, it was all 3 to 4 inch weeds, got it sprayed timely. But this is 3.5 ounces of Anthem MAXX. We included 2 pounds of atrazine, 3 ounces of Callisto, and glyphosate to clean up what was here. And it's done a pretty good job. We're 7 days out right now. So this is a great option if you have corn that you weren't able to get a pre out and you need something to come back with post.
I agree. And the one thing, if you're doing a row and go option, you're probably going to have weeds up anyways. And what we see here is carcasses. So when you get atrazine and mesotrione in the tank together, there's some great things that happen from a weed control perspective there, plus the glyphosate, along with the residual, which we'll show more of later. But when we talk about Anthem MAXX in corn, it's important to understand the parameters around that application. So we can go from anywhere from pre-plant all the way to V4 stage in corn today. So that's something, you know, the row and go option is absolutely effective, but we do have to stop once we get out of the V4 growth stage in corn. So now we'll go talk about another option, and if a grower has an opportunity, if he's got weed pressure like you do here, Lawson, doing an overlapping residual type application in a corn weed control system.
You know, over the years, it's been a whole lot more consistent to use a 2-pass program in corn instead of trying to do a row and go system like what we looked at, or a standalone pre-application. Really, the most consistency out of herbicide program is corn has come when we put down a pre-emergence application, come back with a post-emergence and overlay residuals for weed control. Drake, you want to talk about what happened here?
Yeah, so in this scenario, we decided to use Anthem MAXX in our burn down. So we came down, planted, and put out 3.5 Anthem MAXX with some foliar type products just to clean up what was there. And then we came back, 30 days after that application, and put out an application of Halix GT per the label of getting it on time if a corn crop were here. So the reality is, after we put out 2 products like Anthem MAXX and then a commonly used corn herbicide in the Mid-South, you're going to have clean fields. This is definitely an application that's going to get us to canopy closure. And like you said, with the weeds we're dealing with, not only here in Arkansas, but all the way up the Mississippi River into Kentucky, this is something that we try to stay ahead of. If we do have an opportunity, if the weather's right, to get out 2 applications in corn, that's going to save you any issues that you have through the season on into the harvest.
Yeah. And Drake, one thing I'll add about using Anthem MAXX upfront pre is I've seen a lot of people be hesitant to use atrazine pre in corn because of the plant back restrictions if the corn crop fails going to soybeans. So that's one benefit of using Anthem MAXX pre, is you don't have the limitations to replant to another crop.
Yep. And if you have any other questions, our first line of defense is also always our field sales reps. Obviously, tech service reps can help with any questions, but if you want to take a further look at Anthem MAXX in corn, be sure to check out our website, ag.fmc.com. We appreciate you watching this video.